Welcome to the second annual MLK Concert, a celebration of freedom, justice, and our beloved community. Now please welcome to the stage the Glide Ensemble with the Change Band. Now, please let us rise for the presentation of our Negro National Anthem.
everybody. Are you glad to be here? We're glad to have you. Thank you. What an honor to be here. Just look where I've come from. I've come a long way. I've had some lonely, lonely nights. Oh, yes, I have. And I've had some dark days. I've already been to the top of the mountain. I can almost reach that distant mountain. Just look. Yeah,
Thank you, Glide Ensemble. Come on, one more time. Put those hands together for Glide Ensemble and the Change Band. Now, please join me in welcoming our esteemed mayor, London N. Breed.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the Glide Ensemble. I know it's still early. This party is just getting started to honor the extraordinary legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King. Back in 1985, the King family went to Reverend Cecil Williams and said, we want to make sure that our father's legacy is honored appropriately. We know that people love and support Dr. King and the work that he's done, putting his life on the line in order to fight for the opportunities that we enjoy today, and we want to make sure that his legacy is honored and celebrated appropriately. And Reverend Cecil Williams, who we all love and know is absolutely extraordinary and has a legacy of his own. He worked to create the Northern California MLK Community Foundation and created these amazing celebrations all over San Francisco. When I was young, a long time ago, I used to go to Bill Graham, and there'd be activities and speeches and just something that sparked renewed hope and excitement about Dr. King and what he represented. It just reminded us of how much more work we needed to do, even though we had made considerable gains. And in fact, in 2009, he passed the torch to Aaron Grizel, who now serves as the director of the Northern California MLK Community Foundation, and he continues to carry on that legacy. This is important because we still, every single year, believe truly it's important to honor Dr. King's legacy. Whether it's a day of service established by our former President Barack Obama to really give back to our communities and come together and serve, whether it's the speeches that we hear that remind us that even though we've come a long way, some of the challenge of the past are still present here in this day, even in places like San Francisco. You know, some of you sadly have probably seen what happened to the homeless woman who was hosed, and you saw that video. And I'm sure that for those of you whose families have a history like my grandmother in the Jim Crow South and the fear and the anxiety and the frustration, I'm sure that brought back a lot of really negative memories. But you know what? It also brought out the very best in people too. So many people stood up and stood against that injustice and really demanded that we do something about the harm that inflicted on that person and what that continues to instill in terms of the violence, because that was a violent act, and the hatred that exists in our society. And Dr. King, in his spirit, would answer something like that with love, with compassion, with the desire to be treated like a human being. That is what he represented, and that is what he fought for every single day, and that is what he died for. In order for us to live free, in order for us to live a life that was equal to one another, in order for people like me to be able to serve as a mayor of a city like San Francisco. His legacy and what it represents is why so many of us enjoy the opportunities that exist today. And so as we celebrate with the Human Rights Commission, as we celebrate with so many amazing organizations that partnered, let's remember Dr. King and his legacy and what he represents. And let's not return the hateful acts of one individual with hate. Let's return it with love. Let's return it with compassion. Let's return it with change. Change and a spark of renewed hope for a better day, for not just the people and the folks that we know are the most vulnerable in San Francisco, but for one another throughout this country and throughout this world. Thank you all so much for being here today. Enjoy the show, and let's continue to celebrate and uplift the values of Dr. Martin Luther King every day of our lives. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Now please continue to put those hands together for Director Cheryl Davis and Aaron Grizel.
Thank God the chief is here, because I know one person's going to clap. Thank you all so much for being here. Can you give another round of applause for Mayor London Breed and the Glide Ensemble for kicking us off and getting us started. I have to do this before I forget, because I know there are going to be thank yous at the end, but there are Three people that I want to make sure to thank at the start of this and at the top end. One, and I know they can't come out, but one is Sarah Williams, one is Devi Zinzavadia, and the other is James Spingola. Absolutely. Can you give it up for them? They manage the logistics, the finances, and all of the opportunities that we had for tonight. So I just wanted to publicly thank them for all that they did to make this happen. Thank you all for being here tonight. I also want to just give thanks and gratitude to Aaron Grizel. Can you give it up for Aaron? Last year I asked Aaron, I was like, can we do something with music and song? Dr. King talked about the importance of music to encourage and lift the morale of folks in the fight and in doing the work. And Aaron said, yes, let's do it. And so thank you, Aaron, for being willing to partner with us. And I will leave you with three things. The Chief and Sean have heard this. As we fight and push forward with the legacy of Dr. King, I would just ask us to three things to really do as we continue this work and move forward. One is that we continue to collaborate. When I was out front, I was so grateful for the diversity of this crowd, for the diversity of race, ethnicity, gender, age. We got some young folks here, so give it up for yourselves for being in space. I think that is what Dr. King was looking for us to do. And be creative. So tonight is about creativity, how we celebrate music and song and spoken word and the talent that is within us to be able to talk about the movement in a different way. And then I would just ask for you to stay convinced. Even though some days it may seem a little bit less than hopeful, please remain convinced that we can and will change and that things will get better, because I heard John Lewis one time when someone asked him if things are actually better, did he have any hope? He's like, let me just tell you, we have a long way to go, but from where I started, from the Edmund Pettus Bridge, from the March on Washington, from all of that, we've come a long way. So let's be convinced that we can continue to keep going, keep growing. So thank you all so much for being here tonight.
Yay. Okay. My co-partner just left me. She just left me. Thank you so much. We are honored and gratified to be here with you and for you to be here, because this is about you and for you. You are the ones that strengthen our community. The great diversity that makes up the city and county of San Francisco and the Bay Area at large is something that, one, we can celebrate. Because as Director Davis mentioned, we have come from a mighty long way, but we have a mighty long way to go. And it's here in this area, in the San Francisco Bay Area, in the city and county of San Francisco, where we can lead the way in this country. Now the title of this wonderful celebration this year is the MLK Celebration of Freedom, Justice, and Beloved Community. Freedom, Justice, and Beloved Community. And we got this title not from Dr. King, but from the person who taught and showed Dr. King what social justice was all about. And that was his wife, Coretta Scott King. It was in 1952, they were in Boston together, and she sent him an invitation to a socialist meeting to talk about the injustices in the world. She introduced him to Bayard Rustin. She said in 1956, during the Montgomery bus boycott, who is the person that you should get to help organize this event? And she told him, in spite of everyone's objection, you go get that person, Bayard Rustin, to bring this issue to the fore. And we know what happened after that. She quoted, and she stated this in 2003, I believe: freedom and justice cannot be parceled out in pieces to suit political convenience. I don't believe one can stand for freedom for one group of people and deny it to others. That was over 20 years ago, and that prescient statement speaks directly to what's going on today. Freedom and justice at odds with itself. And yet the truth of freedom and justice sits in all of our hearts. We know how to be decent people. We know how to be good people. But somewhere along the line, this twisted notion of what freedom and justice really meant turned out to be handcuffs on innocent folk, turned out to be jailing of people that didn't need to be, who were fighting for what freedom was all about. And so this year, we used this quote to inspire our events this year. On the backs of Cecil Williams and Coretta Scott King, we stand here today to take back what freedom and justice really means and to bring it back to what beloved community stands for all of us. And so I want to leave you with one thing. Together. Because together love wins. Together peace wins. And together justice wins. And I heard my grandmother say one day that I'm sitting here looking at that mighty river, and in the turmoil of my life, I can sit and say, in all of that, I've got a feeling that everything is going to be all right.
All right. At this time, we welcome, with words of encouragement, Minister Marvin White, and immediately following him will be that of James P. Smith and singing Sarah Williams.
Welcome to this MLK celebration of freedom, justice, and beloved community. I greet you in the name of the Fillmore, the Harlem of the West. I greet you in the name of our pre-language and our gestural ancestors that drew before they spoke. I greet you in the name of masquerade, architecture, fiber, hair work, and metal work. I greet you in the name of the first watercolor painting being the Middle Passage. In the name of whip scars being landscapes and not self-portraits on our backs. In the name of chokeholds that became chokers in our hands. In the name of the Afro-Bessian arts movement, our collective grandmothers quilt and crochet and handiwork, welcome to the MLK celebration of freedom, justice, and beloved community. In the name of the material, immaterial, flesh, bone, cell, energy, all having in the hands of the diaspora a spiritual essence, welcome. In the name of this knowing that everything we loved has always been under threat of being taken, co-opted, stolen, or appropriated. In the name of our foresight and our forethought and knowing to deposit better, migrate, better still, upload our gifts, ingenuity, advance, and innovation into timelessness, into Bayview time, into our account in the cloud, away from the purview of racism. Oh, my people, they would rather see us dead and see our art destroyed than see us take credit for our genius. In the name of knowing that they would one day say that they discovered the objects, the bone, the feather, the blood spatter, and the candle, that they were the only ones who could interpret it all. Hold, black firewall, hold, be impenetrable. When they have found the safe, the tomb, the ruin, they will have not found our cosmology. In the name of learning to create in the color of time, and enter into time and release from time into the present, pigments into that which colored people's time needs transformation, that which needs depth, that which needs perspective, that which needs a shadowing. For every successful painting, there is usually a black canvas behind it. Welcome, Hunter's Point. In the name of color time and the color of time and the knowing that a beating plus time plus black equals the blues, police brutality and state violence plus time plus black equals hip hop, migration from east to west and from south to north plus time plus black equals jazz. The number of breaths to hold to be perfectly still and not get caught plus time plus black is a field holler if in the beloved community we are all witness and we are all archive. In the name of holiness, folk and vernacular and spirited artists in God's time, welcome to the Western Edition beloved community. In the name of the movements in timelessness, Afro-realism, Afro-surrealism, Afro-futurism, and Afro-present tense, loosening up for all of us tonight. In the name of a creativity that can never be extracted from our survival and joy mapping and joy making and good times. In the name of making out of the dissonance the Afro-symphonic time. Do you hear it tonight? In the name of the creative restorative justice, for every mark you leave on your body, we will take our time and leave 1,000,000 brush marks on the universe. In the name of abolishing all forms of creative incarceration in this life and time, tonight, the Wi-Fi is free in this MLK celebration of freedom, justice, and beloved community, and on account that our account is Black as whatever, and it cannot be accessed, and it cannot be hacked because our password recovery question is always, and should always be, who is Ernie Barnes to James and Florida Evans? They will never guess that. Beloved community, I'm gonna release you back into this night and into this knowing that blackness, art, and time makes the optimal conditions for you not only to view and collect and be Black masterpieces, but in your body house and in your self-curation process, be a masterpiece. Tonight in this here MLK celebration of freedom, justice, and beloved community, we are gathered here in one place because we know that there is a renaissance coming, that there is a greater likelihood that we will all get it at the same time if we're all gathered in one place. Tonight, in this blackety black moment, we know we all gonna get it or none of us gonna get it. Tonight, in this cipher right here, this line dance right here, this gumbo right here, this Murray's Grease right here, this AME right here, this chef woman running things right here, this big mama that tried to tell you hard-headed and soft behind itself that we are all finally right placed and right timed. May the muses and the gods and the goddesses, the Orisha, the saints, the beloved, and the scope cesters, the paint cesters, the loom cesters, the photo cesters, and the wrought cesters, and the abstract cesters, and the justice cesters of the MLK celebration of freedom, justice, and beloved community be with you now and forever. In the knowing that, the one true knowing that the color of time is and has always been dark and has always been Black. Amen. Ashe, Gordon Parks, Betty Saar, Angela Hennessy, Augusta Savage, Vander Zee, Kara Walker, Barclay Hendricks, Amy Sherrod, and so it is. Amen.
One more time for Minister Marvin White. Now please turn a listening ear to James P. Smith on piano, accompanying Bay Area's own Singin' Sarah Williams.
Lord, I want to live up yonder in bright mansions above, in bright mansions above, in bright mansions above. Lord, I want to live up yonder in bright mansions above. My mother's gone to glory. I want to go there too. Lord, I want to live up in my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. In my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you.
Now let us welcome, once again, Director Cheryl Davis.
Before we go on to our next performer, I wanted to invite some other folks up to share, because as we talk about collaboration, as we talk about advancing this work, there are a couple of folks that recently that I've come across in terms of the story of Dr. King and the impact. Just more recently, folks have talked about the impact of folks like Mahalia Jackson. And the idea, that's right, give it up for Mahalia Jackson. And the idea that when the crowd got into a little bit of a lull because the song that Mahalia sang had really soothed their souls and they had kind of quieted down, that when King got up to speak, everybody was too calm. And Mahalia, you know what she said? She said, "Tell them about the dream, Martin." And so having the I have a friend, a colleague, Rika Chambers, who used to say Mahalia Jackson was a hype man, right, before there was such a term, because she hyped him up, got him ready to go, and he did the speech that he is most famous for. And so when we do this work, when we think about partners and collaborators and folks who help us be able to be our best and to stand tall, I wanted to invite some of our partners. I mentioned earlier James Spingola from Collective Impact, who is one of our sponsors. Yes. Derek Brown from the University of San Francisco, and DeAnthony Jones from the Human Rights Commission.
Yes. Look at the house. Hey, look, I can't see nobody, y'all. Y'all got the light shining right. Hey, but look, I'm just saying, welcome everybody to Golapale. I hope I pronounced it right. Because, hey, look, they've been at me all day at work about, hey, you ain't pronouncing the name right. I say, I know, I just call it G. So it ain't gonna get out there wrong. Hey, but, thank everybody for coming. We appreciate you all. You all are here, and I'm just looking around. It's a full house. Hey, look, I paid for a lot of people. Hey, look, truth be told, hey, I just want you all to know. I heard Miss Davis say something about impact back here. People always ask me, what you do, Uncle Stank? And that's me. I'm Uncle Stank, y'all. People ask me, what you do? I say, I tell y'all what I do, because I like everybody to know what I do. What I do is I impact, y'all. I impact my community. I impact my people, right? When people see me, I'm telling y'all, my finance team called me the other day. They say, James, it's amazing what you do. I say, what is that? How is that? He said, 98% of everything you see go right back in your community, and you can count for it. He said, I ain't seen that in 30 years. So I just want y'all to know. And I tell everybody at the end of the day, I just want y'all to know. And I'm just going to put this out there, y'all. I don't do all this without that black woman being in that seat, and that black man being president, and this black woman back here from the HRC going out and doing the footwork. So, y'all, this is a team here. I just want y'all to know that. And hey, look, they already back here. Miss Davis got this thing. She kicked me on my leg every time I talk too much. So I feel it back here. So I'm gonna go on and let Derek get the mic. But I got a whole lot to say. I want to talk to y'all for a minute. So hey, look, no, seriously, y'all playing around here. Hey, look, I'm still looking. I just say, woo, Lord, Miss Davis, I paid for a lot of people to come up in here. I ain't playing, y'all. Hey, look.
Don't you step back and watch them.
Hey, look. Hey, look. Hey, but let me just say this before I give it to Derek. This is my impact, y'all. Bringing you all up in here is my impact, y'all. And everybody knows that I went through some stuff, and I got in a little something, but look at you guys. Can't even tell. I just look as good as I did then. Hey, look, before the incident, and look at me after the incident. You can't even tell, y'all. I'm God's child, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all I'm God's child. I'm God's gladiator in this work, y'all. I just want y'all to know that. I'm God's gladiator. They kicking me now. They moving me.
You right. Look, hey. Give it up to Dr. Stank, baby. Let's go. Hey, I'm the man that know the man. Good job, Jay. Appreciate you. So, I know James took up all my time, but I just got to say, so Derek Brown, Senior Director of the Leo T. McCarthy Center at the great University of San Francisco. Thank you. King of crushing it, you know it. I do it day in and day out, but I especially do it around MLK Day. It's all about service. It's all about giving back. That's something that I've been doing from day one. 20 plus years of experience, giving back, being in service to others. This is an absolute labor of love from the city, born in the Mo. So all the Mo cats in the house, I hear you, I see you, definitely. You know it, all right. I know I got a few seconds, but again, I just want to thank everyone for coming out. I'm always looking forward to supporting amazing opportunities like this. And I do this, year after year after year after year without the accolades. Just do it to get things done. It looks amazing. We have a full house tonight. Give yourself a hand. It's amazing. So,
Yes. Oh, okay. Oh, see, look, I know. Okay. So before I leave, I just want to let you know at the Leo T. McCarthy Center, we prepare students for a successful life of public service. Day in and day out, we have students giving back on the local level, the state level, the federal level. We give back to the community nonstop. We have an amazing program in the Western Addition, our Engage SF program, our initiative. We're also out there in the community focused on literacy, working with amazing partners like Collective Impact, Rosa Parks, Prince Hall, and things of that nature, really giving back to K through 8th graders. And that, again, it's a labor of love, and we love the work we're doing. So again, thank you so much for being here. And next on the mic, I got to pass it to DeAnthony Jones. D.
Well, I just want to say that one of the key elements of Dr. King's dream is what he envisioned for the next generation. And I want to give a round of applause for our young folks who are in the crowd tonight. And the key part of keeping this dream alive and keeping Dr. King's vision and dream alive is to make sure that we're pouring into our young people. And I just want to thank all of my mentors, Uncle Stank, D. Brown, and of course, Dr. Davis, who has poured so much into me. And the common denominator is that we all work with young people. That is the key to keeping this dream alive, and it is our collective responsibility to do that. And I guarantee you, I'm going to do my part. Let's do our part together and make sure that we're pumping the dream into our next generation, in our now generation. Thank you.
All right, all right. Now, please let us welcome to the stage San Francisco's own poet laureate Tongo Ison Martin.
Guided by teeth goes this country. There's a cow's mouth on the flag. A peculiar notepad holds street life dear, but the writer's not here. He's somewhere talking to tombstones about the good old days, or splashing reborn water on his latest face, or wondering how his old gun is doing in the afterlife. Wondering how much death trap is in those gas stations. Now's it got to be $1 million a day on this concrete island. New engine in the moon while it never goes down. I mean, 72 straight hours of night, at least according to everyone's posture around here. 8:30 in the morning is really 30 minutes of closing. The city shuts down for a sleepy rat race. Elevator shoe shuffle to the nearest heaven. Laugh for rats the whole way up. It's scabs everywhere. In puddles of city, in concentrated schools and TV-lit warm rooms, the light reveals military fatigue when it hits just right on the ties that are wrapped around the necks of lazy white guys. Empire is too easy, baby. Chant at the walls all summer if you feel like it. Best way for a target to move is shooting back. Running for a tree line made of freeways. Wisdom says against a war machine on Tuesday, you stand no chance, but may we be the last poor people to play a safe cow's mouth on the flag. A politician raises his hand, and the crowd shows their teeth. An oligarch raises his hand, little kids are not safe outside. You are high depressing comrades in function. At 15 minutes of closing in the city has survived another black rebellion. You know, we just paying dues by trash fires, not just anybody can set. And don't you love how deadly things whisper in the moment and people kill like feathers fall when everybody's screaming inside? The writer knows that death is not a matter of dignity, rather humor. In a house that smells like road traces, nuclear percentages on torn stoves. I'm in here, life never was. Just lazy matches and manic inhumanity, hands rushing away from life toward stoves. What we doing here? Surviving for no reason in particular, because nobody gone far today. Nobody will go far tomorrow. Trust me, hell in heaven cannot count. Strange gardens where secondhand clothes play in concrete wishes to be human so that it could be accountable where they find you drenched. And drains wish to be human so that they could be worthy arms for you to die in. Hey, greet them all, grandson. Prepare for the day when every child is coming. Don't say we ghosts didn't write you a poem. Don't say we didn't dig your life. Remember the shotgun by the coat rack that everybody in the house knows how to use. Remember the tightrope made of needles for walking in between driveways and man-made best friends? Go ahead, grandson, tune the street again. Never mind, this country kills musicians first. Broken neck, night, scarred neck, life if these walls could write lyrics. They say, what's your angle, angel eyes? 30 to 50 rounds past by on the street with no daughters. This street has no sons, just young prisoners of war in a racist city that means to make capital, and we know so much. We know it all. We were stood against walls. Who's on the third cross around here? Cow's mouth salivating over the street, and that is the story of why we aim at teeth. You know, these little societies, they wander together like hopeful drops of a virus. Citizen testaments bent on offering me a nation of breadwinners to hold me back, like it's a Brinks. I wrinkle the concrete sometimes like flesh. My Martin Luther King permanence turned away from a podium into the reeds like God is the dangerous twin. Black August to the mountaintop balcony on my bedroom floor. You know they steal you from the earth itself and suspend you in your broken neck from their foolish euphoria. From the loyalty out to their great superstitions, loyalty out to their agrarian reform. I returned to my mother completely disrespected. For peeling the heat off of purgatory, they killed poets like me. Walked me away from my poems, never to be heard from again. In this final industrial complex of bloodlines picked over, picked through a sport and spiritual death of your devil, at least half made police become a pretty word. I'm reading a lynch mob shoestrings like they were tea leaves, teaching you how to write about cities. It's the 25th century in the mirror, people. Tyranny against your chump turns you a chump to be mocked even with a gun in your car. A cubit of needlework spelled tomb for the proletariat. You know, the relapse ministry of talented people curled up in a fetal position next to a diamond. Just another service day in the theatrics of tea house fascism. In a bouquet of surveillance cameras. In the poverty of God, man. New blue eyes, corpses of water, a newly potted presidency of one big shiny coin if you ask. An animated capitalism, another non-literal voice, killing his white freedom, the deification of hyphens, medicine bread and picture shows, great protesters in LA, guests of our Inc., drop-kicking rose in the graveyard, DC mink like a stone torn in half, the pen advances, despite CIA guideposts, despite non-African past and futures, a metaphorical but not surreal day in a horn-ridden life, horn player improvising king. Like a radio prize fight featuring Shango himself, a real hand sweeps the land of racism. May I return to the ground? May I make progress with the gun? On our mother Emmanuel, they put on music that evening. A swinging tight body language for you to drink with fermented $5 bills. For your body language, some applause. My past stomach lining, neither a good thing nor a bad thing, like being psychic on the way to a lethal injection. It'll sit you down with Lady Day. Lady Day leading youth who surrendered their souls to Africa too soon. Poly thought floating in a cup of water, she saved me. Accessing my stomach, accessing the love of the American lynched. Hey, cold sleeves wouldn't avalanche into the wrist. Our mother Emmanuel, avalanche into the sharp keys. Pain, the deal you make with pain. The piano makes sense for them. Laying hands on the world gradually. Addressing the bending necks on the streets of the north. Traveler sailing in pain, repeating pain. 10 trigger fingers on that piano harmony would have me putting 100 fights on every direction offered to Lady Day. Leaning on trees again, recruiting the countryside itself. Lay your plan on this lightning. Make your poems a corner pocket of men. I've greeted the blues itself. America may clean my dead body, but will never include me. There goes the poet. Killing without killing. Never mind this little painting of your language. May I be a meaningful lynching. A crow's passing, good and dead by the afternoon.
And now, to close out the night, please put your hands together for Commissioner Karen Clopton.
As Dr. King said, it's always the right time to do the right thing. We acknowledge that we are on the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. As the indigenous stewards of this land, and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this place, as well as for all peoples who reside in their traditional territory. As guests, we recognize that we benefit from living and working on their traditional homeland. We wish to pay our respects by acknowledging the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community who are still alive and with us, and by affirming their sovereign rights as First Peoples. We thank and praise those who came before us, Mary Ellen Pleasant and William Alexander Leadsdorf, who helped found this city of San Francisco and looked like many of us in this auditorium tonight. What an incredible evening. I am so honored to be able to close this celebration with some words of true gratitude. Thank you again to all of our artists for sharing your gifts with us tonight. Thank you to the Glide Ensemble, the Change Band, and Vernon Smith. Gratitude to Marvin White, Minister of Celebration at Glide Memorial Church. Appreciation to Singing Sarah. And James P. Smith, didn't he play that piano? And thank you to our dear brother, Tongo Ison Martin, for your amazing, stirring words. We are so grateful to you, Goapole, for your beautiful performance. And again, thank you to Emily King for making this evening unforgettable. And they both sang "A Change Is Gonna Come." Let me say another word of thanks to those who made the evening possible, that we had an incredible concert, and as my father would say, we did not pay for it, but somebody did. Dr. Cheryl Evans Davis and our fabulous team at the San Francisco Human Rights Commission, what a wonderful job you have done bringing us all together tonight. Aaron Grizel and his staff at the NorcalMLK Foundation, thank you for kicking off our week-long celebration of Dr. King's legacy. The foundation has many opportunities to lift up Dr. King's dream over the next few days, which can be found on their website. Thank you again to our event sponsors and partners. Appreciation to the NAACP San Francisco chapter, the Interfaith Council of San Francisco, the Warriors Community Foundation, Mega Black SF, because we are not a monolith, we are a megalith. Collective Impact, we heard from James Spingola earlier, and he is indeed making an impact. Black Women Organized for Political Action, 100 Black Men of the Bay Area, and the CDA Consulting Group. We are grateful to you all for making tonight possible. We also want to thank the Herbst Theater staff and performance team for all your hard work. Special appreciation also to Michelle McNeil, Spotlight Printing, again, Sarah Williams and Martha Cohen, along with all the other event staff who poured their hard work into freedom, justice, and the beloved community. And I want all of you to, when you're on your way home or at any point, to sing, yell, shout these 10 words whenever anyone tells you or makes you feel like you don't belong here in this city that we helped to build. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Thanks to all of you for being here. Good night and safe travels home.